Well, the NHL is losing millions of fans yearly. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Hockey Hub. It turns out the country's national game is hardly immune to a generational shift in overall TV viewing habits. In our research, we noticed that for the NHL, as well as for other pro leagues, there is a migration to online and mobile at the expense of TV.
NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Hockey League.
Number 1. They're not the best at it. The US, more so than other nations, love being the best at things, especially sports. While the US national hockey team always does fairly well in international competition, especially recently, and the NHL is littered with outstanding American players, hockey is not a sport that the US dominates. The biggest stars in the league are usually Canadian or European, which can make the sport seem foreign even if it's played right in the hometown. The US have been playing better on international stages lately, finishing with the silver in the Vancouver 2010 Olympics and 4th place in the 2014 Games. These recent Cup finals showcase two of the league's and USA's best players in Patrick Kane and Tyler Johnson. Most telling is the Cup has been won exclusively by American teams since the Habs win in 1993. Again, though, the Stanley Cups are won by teams in America, composed mostly of Canadian and European players. If the US can continue to close the gap on Canada and the rest of the world in its ability to develop talent, the sport's popularity will likely rise along with it. Number 2. Too many sports. The NHL faces steep competition in the US, especially with the popularity of sports like NASCAR or even sports entertainment like wrestling. In most countries, university and college athletics are not the enterprise that the NCAA is in the US. While the NHL may be one of the 4 major professional sports leagues, its popularity isn't in the top 4 because of the popularity of college sports. College football is a way of life in many areas of the US, and March Madness is one of the most watched sporting events in the country every year.
This one's good if it goes. Are you kidding me?
There's only so much time in a day, and fans have to make decisions about which games to watch. In the US, the NHL needs to distinguish itself from all its competition if it wants its popularity to rise. Number 3. Too many teams. There are currently 30 teams in the NHL, around the same number as the MLB, NBA, and NFL, but it's unlikely the NHL should be trying to sustain this amount of teams. In its attempt to spread its popularity in new markets, the NHL put teams in places that don't seem interested, such as Phoenix, Carolina, and South Florida. Many of these franchises are suffering, and it brings down the quality of the league as a whole. The owners of these teams are in a tough position. If no one comes to their games, they don't have any revenue to go out and improve either their team or their arena. But if they don't improve those things, why would anyone come out to the games? Many nostalgic NHL fans would love to go back to the days of the original 6, but while that's not going to happen anytime soon, the NHL is a league that would do better if they didn't have games in an empty arena in the desert. Number 4. TV watching experience. This is a difficult concern to assess, but many fans have complained about how the TV experience of watching hockey doesn't live up to the experience of seeing the game in person. The NFL has risen to staggering popularity, in part because of the fact that sitting down on your couch to watch the games on Sunday might be more enjoyable than actually watching from the stands. Hockey is difficult for TV, as the puck is difficult to see at times, and the overwhelming speed of the game doesn't translate as impressively to TV. Luckily for the NHL, in came high definitions, which has drastically improved the clarity of watching hockey games. If the NHL can continue to improve the TV watching experience for hockey games, it'll benefit the game tremendously. Number 5. More Canadians in the NBA. The OHL consists of mainly young players who look up to CHL and NHL stars, but with more Canadians getting recognition in basketball, young OHL fans could be shifting their attention to the NBA. Stars like Houston Rockets Anthony Bennett and Nuggets Jamal Murray undoubtedly have vast amounts of fans in their homeland. Of course, NBA superstars' popularity in Canada may not equal the stardom of NHL superstars like Sidney Crosby and John John Tavares. But in a few decades to come, the country's sports culture may change drastically. That means there's a chance of more basketball and soccer leagues growing and minor hockey leagues like the OHL getting sidelined. It's a difficult prediction to imagine if you love hockey, but considering it's becoming challenging to find a reliable bookie that offers OHL betting odds, hockey's future as a top sport is in doubt. Meanwhile, you can watch the OHL, CHL and other Canadian top hockey leagues on a variety of broadcast stations. You could also compare betting odds for the OHL on Oddspedia if you love to bet. However, ensure you learn how to analyze games by using statistics and useful team data to increase the odds of winning your wagers. Number 6. Immigration trends. Close to 20% of Canada's population consists of minority groups, and a significant percentage of them immigrated from basketball and soccer loving countries. Ontario is one of the immigrants' favorite provinces, according to recent government data.
7.7 million Canadians now identify as a visible minority.
This year, over 100,000 people have moved from other Canadian provinces and from outside the country to live in Ontario. About 80% of the province's new residents are international immigrants. You may want to think immigrants may not have a say in Canada's changing sports culture, but they do. Plenty of Canada's new NBA and soccer fans are visa workers, international students, expats, and former refugees. Immigrant hockey fans certainly will continue to enjoy the country's ace leagues, but for the minor leagues like the OHL, their popularity is quickly fading. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you will love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.